The moment she dismissed him with a careless glance and a sharper smile, the room seemed to shrink around him, as if the glass walls of the executive boardroom were closing in. He stood there with a borrowed laptop under his arm, cheap shoes on a polished floor, watching the city glow through the windows behind the CEO as she reduced years of quiet struggle into one cruel idea: he was just an IT guy. In that instant, something ancient stirred inside him, not anger exactly, but a calm resolve forged from too many nights of being invisible, too many mornings of starting over with nothing but hope and caffeine. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of unseen potential, take a moment right now to like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel, because stories like this are meant to remind us who we really are. He had not always been invisible. Years ago, before life narrowed his options, he had been the quiet kid who loved systems, patterns, and the strange comfort of logic. Code made sense to him when people did not. But life did what it often does to people without safety nets. His wife passed away unexpectedly, leaving him a single father with grief heavy enough to bend his spine. Bills replaced dreams. Nights once spent building elegant programs were now consumed by fixing broken appliances and soothing a crying child. He took whatever work kept the lights on, and that work slowly labeled him. IT support. The guy you call when the printer jams. The man no one listens to until something breaks. The CEO, on the other hand, lived in a different universe. She was brilliant, driven, and visibly exhausted by success. Her company, a fast-rising tech firm, had just secured a massive investment and was preparing to scale globally. The numbers were staggering, but beneath the shine, there were cracks. Systems buckled under demand. Data moved too slowly. Decisions were delayed because information could not keep up with ambition. She felt it, even if she did not yet understand it. That was why he was in the room that day, not as a visionary, but as a last-minute technical patch to calm a room full of investors. As she spoke confidently about growth and projections, he watched the live metrics on a secondary screen. Patterns emerged that others could not see. Bottlenecks hidden inside success. A flaw in the architecture that would not fail today or tomorrow, but soon, catastrophically. His fingers twitched, itching to rewrite what was wrong, but he had learned restraint. People like him were not asked to think big. They were asked to fix small things quietly and disappear again. When the meeting ended, applause filled the room. She turned to him only because protocol demanded acknowledgement. Her words were efficient, dismissive, final. In her world, hierarchy defined value. Titles equaled intelligence. He nodded, thanked her, and walked out without protest. But that night, after putting his child to sleep, he opened his old laptop. The fan whined. The screen flickered. And he began to write. What he wrote was not flashy. It was a single line of code, born from years of understanding systems under stress. One elegant solution that restructured how data flowed, how decisions could be made in real time without friction. It was not meant to impress anyone. It was meant to work. He tested it again and again, watching as simulated loads that once crushed the system now passed through effortlessly. He sent it anonymously to a company repository, flagged as a suggested optimization, and went to bed without expectation. By morning, alarms were ringing in offices he had never entered. Metrics changed. Dashboards lit up green where red had lived for months. Latency dropped. Costs shrank. Scalability multiplied. The company did not just stabilize, it soared. Investors noticed. Analysts speculated. Billions flowed in faster than anyone had predicted. The CEO stared at the numbers in disbelief, tracing the change back through logs and commits until she found it. One line. One contributor. An IT support account she barely remembered. Reality has a way of humbling even the strongest egos. She asked to meet him again, this time without the glass wall between them. When he walked into the room, nothing about him had changed. Same jacket. Same calm eyes. But everything around him had. The company he had quietly saved was now worth billions more, and for the first time, the room listened when he spoke, even though he said very little. Recognition followed, but it did not change him the way people expected. He accepted the promotion, the financial security, not for status, but for peace. His child would never again hear stress in his voice over unpaid bills. Nights would return to quiet creativity instead of survival. The CEO learned something too, though it cost her pride. Leadership was not about who spoke the loudest, but who understood the foundation beneath the noise. As the months passed, the story spread, distorted by headlines and simplified into inspiration posters. But the truth remained more human and more powerful. Greatness does not always announce itself. Sometimes it sits patiently in the background, fixing what others ignore, waiting for the moment when preparation meets opportunity. Just before this story ends, take a second and comment below where you are watching from and what part of this journey resonated with you the most. Your words matter more than you think. In the final board meeting of the year, as profits soared and futures looked brighter than ever, the CEO glanced toward the man who once stood unnoticed at the edge of the room. She saw not just an IT guy, but a reminder of humility, resilience, and the quiet strength of people who carry the world without demanding applause. And if this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that your efforts matter even when no one is watching, please like, share, and engage with this video. Sometimes, the smallest line of code, the smallest act of belief, can change everything.